sitting comfortably on your mat, we're going to start in a seated position. You can have your legs crossed or you can have them out in front of you. So whatever works for you, making sure it's feeling comfortable and getting your spine nice and long. We'll start by closing our eyes, feeling your sits bones on the floor, rooting down. Taking a moment to check in with how you're feeling in this moment. And then connecting with your breath, breathing all the way in through your nose and maybe letting out a sigh. Maybe doing that again, breathing in through your nose and letting out another sigh. This time, let's take our shoulders up to our ears. Inhale and exhale, letting them drop down. So arriving, and tonight's class is a yin class. Before we get into our yin postures, I'd like to introduce a pranayama, a breath, the alternate nostril breathing, and this will help to balance out our thinking and our feeling parts of ourselves, the left and right hemisphere of our brains, so that we can feel more balanced. So we're going to take our right hand, if that works for you, taking your fingers into a little peace sign, and then bringing those peace fingers down so that you have your ring finger and your thumb up. And we're going to use the ring finger and the thumb alternately from side to side to close off one nostril at a time. So making sure that your breath or your nose is clear. So maybe just taking a breath, making sure you can breathe through both nostrils. And we'll take a breath in together. And then we're going to close off the right side and exhale through the left. And then inhale through the left, closing that side, and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right, close and exhale through the left. Inhale through the left, close, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right, close, exhale through the left. So just moving back and forth with that same rhythm, moving from side to side, maybe even closing your eyes here so you can go inside, getting that lovely rhythm. And then the next time you breathe in and out through the left side, we'll just let our hands come back down to our knee. Close your eyes, checking in to see how you're feeling. Hopefully you're feeling a little more calm, a little more balanced. And our first yin pose that we're going to come into, we are going to come into a forward fold. So we're going to take our left leg, stretching it out in front of us and letting your right knee relax down. Now, if you have a pillow, you might want to put it underneath your knee, or if you have a bolster, you might want to have that in front of you. We're going to slowly ease our way down. So taking your time, there's no rush. We're going to stay in this shape once we get here for about 3 minutes. So letting yourself ease into it. We're not using any muscles, any brute strength here. It's all about softening and letting go. So once you come to a area of resistance, just see if you can stack your fists so your head is resting, so your head isn't floating in the air. Connecting back with your breath, letting yourself sink a little bit deeper with each exhalation. Letting your shoulders soften, face soften. And while you're here, as I mentioned, this is a new moon yin class. So we had a new moon last night. Great opportunity to set intentions. And I'm going to be asking you questions with each pose, something for you to ponder as you sink in a little deeper into each of these postures. So the first question is, what seeds would you like to plant during this moon cycle? So just pondering what seeds you'd like to plant. Take 5 more breaths here. And then very slowly making your way up, moving your bolster or your pillow away. We'll stretch the right leg out, give them a little shake, and then we'll get ready for the other side. So bringing that left leg in, propping it up if you need to, getting any props in front of you so that you can feel nice and supported. And then when you're ready, we'll just ease our way down. Allowing things to soften, allowing yourself to settle into this shape. Allowing the muscles to relax so you can get into the ligaments and the tendons. Focusing on your breath and just allowing the exhale to take you a little bit deeper. Shoulders relaxing. And the question for this side is, what do you need to focus on in order for your seed to grow? What do you need to focus on in order for your seed to grow? And we'll take 5 more breaths here. And very slowly bringing yourself back up and just moving your props out of the way. We'll stretch the left leg out, giving them a little wiggle again. And this time we'll bring our feet together. So both knees are resting out. You're welcome to prop your knees up. And before we come into a forward fold here, just taking a moment to warm up your toes, giving your feet a little massage, connecting with your foundation, noticing any tender spots. And then we'll wrap our fingers around our toes. You can always take your bolster, place it in between your legs, and forward fold again, letting yourself settle in, breathing all the way down that back body. And with each exhalation, just noticing yourself sinking deeper and deeper. Allowing anything that doesn't need to be working to soften. So face soft, shoulders soft, neck relaxed. And the question to ask yourself here is, what are my intentions? What are my intentions? And 10 more breaths. And then gently and easily making your way back up, taking your time, moving your prop out of the way. We'll bring the knees up, placing your feet on the floor and just setting your hands behind you. We're going to take the knees gently to one side and then over to the other, allowing your body to rebound from that hold. And then coming back to center, we're going to come onto our hands and knees, and we're going to come into a winged dragon. So you might want to have your props beside you. We're going to start with the right leg, so bringing that leg out. If you want to pad up that left knee, go right ahead. But you want your hands on the inside of your right foot. So with this pose, your knee can wing out. It doesn't have to be close to your shoulder. And you're just going to hang out here, letting your hips sink down. So we're tapping into the hips. So our creative center is in our hips. So good to tap into that area when we're looking to manifest or create things. So allowing your hips to settle, allowing that right knee to rest out. And if you feel like you can come a little bit closer to the floor, you can always take a pillow and resting your elbows down on it. Or if you need a little more height, you can stack another pillow. And allowing yourself to hang down, let your head relax. Again, maybe using your hands to rest your forehead. Breathing all the way down into your belly. Making sure your knee, your back knee feels okay. Making sure there's no sharp pains anywhere. If there is, back it up a little bit. And come back up if it's too much. And just let anything that doesn't need to be working, let that area, those areas to soften. Allowing yourself to just focus on your breath. And maybe asking yourself here, where am I craving change? Where am I craving change? And we'll take 5 more breaths here. And then slowly and gently bringing yourself out of this pose. Not moving too quickly. We'll take that right leg behind us and just coming into a little child's pose. Maybe taking your knees a little further apart, resting your head down. Taking a few moments, just breathing here. And then we'll bring ourselves back up and we'll get ready to do the other side. So bringing that left foot forward, getting your props close by, letting your hands come onto the inside of the left leg, and you can let that left knee just wing out in this winged dragon. And if this feels okay for you, you can just hang out like this, maybe letting your head hang down, taking some time. Or you might want to use a prop, coming all the way down onto the prop. Or if you're feeling really flexible, you can always come all the way down to the floor. So wherever your limit is, finding your edge and letting your head relax on your hands if you can. Letting your hips relax. Remembering that our hips is where we hold all that creativity. And maybe while you're here, asking yourself, where am I afraid of change? Where am I afraid of change? Softening into the pose, into the shape. And we'll take 5 more breaths here. And then slowly bringing yourself back up. Taking that left leg and bringing it back. We'll move the props out of the way. We're going to come all the way down onto our bellies. Bringing your hands together and just resting your forehead down onto the mat. Coming into a crocodile pose here. Maybe wiggling your hips from side to side, having your feet nice and wide to the edges of the mat. Breathing all the way down into your belly. Filling that belly up nice and full. We're going to come into a Sphinx pose. So bringing your elbows underneath your shoulders, keeping your lower half nice and relaxed and loose. Letting your shoulders move away from your ears. Letting your heart expand outward. Making sure there's no sharp pains in your lower back. If there is, if this does not feel right for you, you can lay all the way back down onto the floor. Always remember to listen to your body. And you can close your eyes here. Maybe asking yourself, what must I clear away? What must I clear away? Let's take 10 more breaths here. Getting that natural curve in your back. And then we'll bring our elbows back out, resting your right cheek down. We'll just bring the left knee up towards the left elbow, releasing some pressure from your back. And then we'll stretch that leg out and switching your left cheek onto your hands, taking your right knee up to your elbow. Taking a few breaths here. And then we'll stretch that leg back out. Bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, we'll lift back up into a table position. We're going to come into a beautiful swan pose tonight. So we're going to take the right knee and slide it up to your right wrist. So making sure your knee feels okay, we're going to slide the left leg back. And if your knee feels okay, you can always wiggle that foot up a little bit higher. If your knee is bothering you, you can always move your foot a little bit closer to your bum. And finding whatever feels right for you, just rocking from side to side. If you wanted to take a pillow underneath your hip, your right hip for support, you can. And we're going to settle here into our swan pose. Taking a couple breaths, maybe closing your eyes. And if it feels right for you, if you want to go a little bit deeper, we're going to slide the hands forward, maybe stacking your fists and resting your forehead down, or even taking your prop and using that. Letting yourself settle, letting anything that doesn't need to be working
letting it soften and relax. Making sure you're breathing easily and fully. And the question that you can ask yourself here is, what do my dreams feel like? What do my dreams feel like? We'll take 5 more breaths here. And then slowly bringing yourself back up. Taking that right leg and bringing it behind you, maybe stretching it out, getting some circulation back into your toes. Maybe move it back and forth. And maybe taking your hips from side to side. We're going to get ready to do the other side. So taking your left knee up towards your left wrist, sliding that right leg back, making any adjustments so that your knee feels okay on this side. And just wiggling from side to side, settling in. And then maybe lowering yourself down or using your block or your prop to keep you up a little bit. Easing in, not rushing, easing in. Letting everything soften. Letting everything go. Breathing all the way down into your belly. Just imagine any tension that's in your hip dissolving away with each exhalation. And the question here you can ask yourself is, what small habits can I change in my everyday thinking? What small habits can I change in my everyday thinking? We'll take 5 more breaths here. And then slowly bringing yourself back up. Letting that left knee stretch out, stretching your leg, maybe pointing, flexing, bending, and straightening. Just getting some circulation back into your left leg. And then we'll flip ourselves around. Do that. Let's get the bolster or the pillow that you have. We're going to set that behind us. It always feels good. And laying down on it, making sure your head is still resting on your pillow or your cushion. And then we'll let the knees relax out, feet can come together again. Maybe placing your hand on your heart and on your belly. Closing your eyes here. Breathing all the way down into your belly. Letting your shoulders relax. Letting your hips relax. Your face soft. And the question here is, what am I becoming? What am I becoming?
enjoying your breath flowing in and flowing back out. No effort at all. Reminding us that things still happen even without effort. And we'll slowly just bring the knees up together. Maybe roll to the side so you can remove the cushion or the bolster. And then laying all the way back down onto the floor. We're going to lift our hips up and place your cushion or your bolster underneath your hips. You want your hips up just a little bit here. And then bringing your feet all the way up towards the ceiling. Coming into this nice inversion, gentle inversion. Allowing gravity to do its magic here. And allowing your shoulders to relax, your hands can rest, palms facing up. It's a great pose, great shape to come into at the end of the day before you crawl into bed. And you can even use a wall if you have one nearby. Having your legs up the wall for support. Maybe closing your eyes here. Breathing all the way into your belly. Maybe even using your imagination and imagine that your feet are a waterfall. Imagine that waterfall flowing down to your forehead, washing away any busy thoughts from your day.
And we'll bring our knees into our chest, maybe placing your arms around your knees, just rocking from side to side, giving your upper back a little massage. And then we'll place our feet back down onto the mat, lifting your hips, removing your cushion or your bolster, setting your hips back down. And we're going to come into our final shape, which is our corpse pose. So if you want to get some sweaters or socks on, go right ahead. Getting yourself comfortable, stretching your legs out, taking up lots of space on your mat. Hands on either side with your palms facing up. Nice, gentle breath into your belly. And back out again. Maybe closing your eyes. Getting the back of your neck nice and long. And giving yourself permission to rest and digest all of the postures tonight. Bringing your awareness down to the tips of your toes. Imagine relaxing energy at the tips of your toes. Feel that energy flowing to the balls of your feet, the arches, and all the way down to your heels. As it slowly moves around your ankles and begins to travel up your calves and your shins. Floating over your knees. Your knees are so relaxed, the kneecaps are floating. And this relaxation moves through your thighs, massaging and relaxing all the way through to your femur bone. Those femur bones are so relaxed, the marrow turns to liquid. And this relaxation moves around your hips, those beautiful, wonderful hips. Perhaps feeling yourself sinking a little deeper into your mat. As it travels up through your pelvis to your abdomen, moving in a clockwise direction and massaging and relaxing all the muscles and organs here. Branch the rib cage, settling back down at the base of your spine, ever so gently rolling up your back, relaxing all those muscles along the way. Reaching your shoulders, releasing any last bits of stress or tension. As it flows down each of your arms,
the elbows, forearms, wrists and palms of your hands, all the way down to the tips of your fingers. Arms are loose and limp as it flows up your neck, relaxing your jawline. Cheeks sinking in. And it flows up the bridge of your nose and around your eyes, over your forehead, smoothing away any lines of concern. Feel your entire body totally relaxed. Taking a few moments to just be. I'd like to read a poem by Zach Beach called Rise to the Surface. Rise to the surface of the water of life. Leave your earthly troubles behind and bubble up towards the light. Allow your presence to be as spacious as the sky. Let the gentle breeze of your breath carry your wings above the clouds and fly high. And as you soar beyond the atmosphere, greet each twinkling star. Embrace an expansive eternity, ineffable infinity, nothing less than the truth of who you are. And just bringing a full breath into your belly, beginning to reanimate your fingers and your toes. Coming back into your room, into your body. And when you're ready, you can bring your knees into your chest. Slowly rolling to your right side. And at your own pace, coming all the way up to a seated position. So sitting up nice and comfortable, getting your spine nice and long. We'll just bring our voices together with the sound of Om 3 times, the universal sound of all things. So taking a nice full breath in. Bringing your hands together at your heart center, and new moon wishes for you all. Namaste.